After several opening speakers, the moment of expected confrontation occurred. Much has been made of that meeting and of what was actually said at its conclusion by Wilberforce and my champion Huxley. Wilberforce was the first to speak. He ridiculed my work. And it was obvious to many present that he had never read my book, nor had any understanding of the rudiments of biological science. And when he finished, he turned to Huxley. "And so to you, my dear Huxley, about to tear me apart once I have sat down, I put to you the question, is it through your grandfather or your grandmother that you claim descent from a monkey?" Huxley rose to the challenge. He defended my work and the enterprise of scientific inquiry. And when he finished, he turned to the bishop. "Finally, sir, in regards your question of my ancestry, would I rather have a miserable ape for a grandfather or a man, highly endowed by nature and possessed of great means and influence, for the mere purpose of introducing ridicule into grave scientific discussion? Why then, sir, I would unhesitatingly affirm my preference for the ape. I should feel no shame in a primate origin, for I, sir, would rather be the offspring of 2 apes than to be a man eloquent in the service of prejudice and falsehood, and who is afraid to face the truth." I found the bishop generally free of malice. But as for Huxley, well, his dislike of the man lasted until years later, when sadly Wilberforce was thrown from his horse and his head struck a stone. Upon hearing the news, Huxley wrote, "For once the bishop's brains and reality came into contact, and the result was fatal." The only mention of humans that I made in my book was the single sentence, "Much light will be thrown on man and his origins." But in my later books, The Descent of Man and the Expression of Emotions in Man and Animals, I saw no need to be coy or to avoid the obvious. We are animals also. We, too, are a product of natural selection. Although we behave as if we are separate and apart from all else, we are not immune from natural law. Em told me she thought my later books would be more interesting, but she feared greater controversy. She was right. The Morning Post and other publications which had accepted the origin, although with reservations, angrily attacked The Descent of Man. The Times took 2 entire editions and 6 whole columns to condemn the book. Of late, my overall health has somewhat improved. Some say my problem is psychological and accuse me of being a hypochondriac, as if I should wish upon myself the tonics, the emetics, the bismuth, the magnesia, the nitromuriatic acid, the Fowler's solution, and all the other medications I have been forced to endure. Perhaps I contracted some infectious agent in the jungles of Brazil, or when I was bitten by the great black benchuca bug in Chile. I fear the true nature of my malady shall always be a mystery. There is much less troubling me now. The income from my property, investments, and books has steadily increased. All 5 of my sons have successful careers, although 3 are in poor health. George is a professor of astronomy at Cambridge, and Francis is a botanist at Cambridge. He has become my secretary and assists me in my botanical studies. During the last year, I have taken nearly an hour every afternoon to record my autobiographical recollections for my children and grandchildren. And I have recently seen the publication of my final 2 books. Indeed, my last book, The Formation of a Vegetable Mold Through the Action of Worms, was published last week, and I just received my copy. Strange that my last book should be on worms, but then again, not so strange. In our arrogance, we consider ourselves separate and supreme, preoccupied with thoughts of heaven from our pedestals. We are often oblivious to what lies just beneath our feet. The worms were here long before we appeared, and will be here long after we are gone. The nature of the scientific mind is most curious. You see, soon after I returned from my voyage, I visited Uncle Jos to see M. While there, I noted that a layer of lime applied by gardeners 10 years earlier now lay under 2.5 inches of soil. Soon after we moved to Down House, I scattered a layer of chalk in M's garden, and I observed that over the years it too gradually disappeared, finally becoming located 7 inches below the surface after 29 years. Now, either chalk or lime deposited on open ground sinks at the rate of about 1/4 inch per year, or a layer of vegetable mold of that same thickness is deposited annually on the surface by the actions of some unknown agency.